Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to High Trust Coaching Live. I'm Hope Borman. I'm the Divisional President for High Trust Coaching, and I have with me one of my favorite coaches. I have Suzanne Voter with me. Welcome, Suzanne.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
Yes, it's here already. Yay!
We're already off to the races, right?
Absolutely. Hit the ground running, I'm telling you.
Yes, exactly. Today Suzanne and I thought it would be a great idea to talk about the law of the leverage from high trust selling. So what the law of the leverage says is that you're less likely to fail if you told others you will succeed. So, we're right now in the midst of business plans have been written, New Year's resolutions have been written. Suzanne, before we start diving into how to achieve our goals, let's talk a little bit about what gets in the way.
Family, time, business, all of it. It's hard to write down your goals when you may not know your numbers. And that's one thing we teach in coaching is to know your numbers and know what you need to do and who you need to be talking to every week, every day to make those numbers that you want to achieve. So I think a lot of it has to do with not knowing where to start and not knowing your numbers.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. And I know that in building business plans for 2021 with our coaching members, we have for coaching members that stay with us year over year. We know their numbers. We know what they accomplished in the prior year. We know what their conversion rates were. So right. We had a very, very solid foundation of which to move forward with on where we're strong and where we can improve to where we can improve to achieve our goals.
Yes, absolutely. And it's clarity. Clarity is key.
Yes, clarity is key. It absolutely is key. And I know that a lot of clients, have been kind of realizing that, we track conversion rates. So a lot of clients have really been kind of looking at their conversion rates and seeing that their conversion rates have actually improved. That they've greatly improved. And then now we're having conversations around how can we improve it even more? How can we talk to that same 10, opportunities or 10 candidates or 10 clients, and instead of capturing maybe 5 of those new clients, maybe capturing 8 of them.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with systems and processes and knowing where your business is coming from and what you want to achieve and learning their goals and making it about the client and about what they want to achieve and how do we help them get there. It's not a business transaction for us. It's a relationship with our borrowers. It's hopefully a long-term referral relationship for many years to come. So you have to make it that, and you have to take the time up front to learn about your client, your borrower.
Now, that's a mouthful there, Suzanne. That is so true. And I think that if we learn that one thing, that it is about the clients, and to be asking that question of your clients, what's important to you about the purchase of your home, what's important to you about success when we're talking to our partners, and having that conversation every year.
Right. And what's important about working with somebody like me? What do you want to see from me, your mortgage professional, in your transaction, in your future?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was listening to an interview this morning with Lewis Howes, and he was talking about that very thing, that they were having the whole conversation around, no matter who you are, asking that person, how can I help you? Asking that person, and that's something that Todd has driven, and it's foundational to everything we do at High Trust, is how can I help you win? How can I help you win? When somebody asks you that question, they come up with answers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They want to have help. They want somebody to talk to and work things out with and put their trust in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. And I maybe people don't get asked that question very often. I mean, how often do you get asked, the question, how can I help you win?
Only when I ask myself. Every day.
Every day. Okay, that's terrific. So the power of writing down your goals, the power of telling someone else what your goal is, what you're looking to achieve. Let's talk about that a couple of minutes.
Well, it's about accountability. So many of people in our industry belong to accountability groups, networking referral groups. Coaching is accountability. When you're putting your goals out there and you're talking to people who are on your side, who will promote you, who will lift you up and keep you accountable and check in with you. And hopefully you're doing this maybe even as a buddy system with someone. That is leverage. That keeps you going. That makes you stronger and more focused every day. And it can be competitive. We're competitive people. We don't slouch in this business. We make things happen. And if we're talking to another person about our goals and sharing their goals, and you're working together, there's still that a little bit of competitiveness of, I don't want to get into this phone call and not have a goal that I've met or a solution that I'm supposed to come up with. And that makes you more accountable than trying to do it yourself. It's hard to do it yourself. It's like going to the gym. It's hard to do, but once you get there, it's great. Right. So being accountable with someone else is truly important. So the goal is to write out your goals, make them very clear, and then find somebody either in your business, in your referral networking group, in your family that you can talk to about these and help keep you accountable. And you've got to set timelines. Timelines are important. I'm going to achieve what by when. And that way you've got it on your calendar, you have it on a notepad right in front of your desk every day. You know that this is something you're going to have to do by this time frame. And you might feel bad if you don't do it. That motivates us. That pushes us to get the things done that we know we need to get done. Because, people realize or don't realize that if you don't do something, how do you feel about that? It doesn't feel good. But if you think about how you're going to feel if you do it, that is a motivator.
Yeah, exactly. It's so interesting that you should say that, is, telling someone else, I think it's because it's what we do so much every single day with our coaching members. It is what are we going to achieve, keeping on the guardrails, keeping the action plans accountable and asking that by when. That always stops, my clients when we start going down this path of what we want to achieve and what we want to get done. And the whole time they're talking, I'm making a list, of action plans that they're putting, that they're, saying, well, I'm going to do this and I want to do this and I want to do this and I need to do this and that type of thing. And I'm writing a list. And then I go down that list before we get off the phone. And I said, okay, hire a new loan officer assistant. By when? When do we want to have this person in place? Getting a new CRM.
You want them to do specifically.
And they always kind of go, oh, wow, okay, let's start setting some dates, right? And then those dates kind of go in, and because it's not, oftentimes we don't think about that by when. And I know that when I tell you or any of my accountability partners, yourself, Teresa Odette, any one of my coaches, when I tell you that I'm going to do something, believe me, in those moments that I don't feel like it, or in those moments that I'm kind of getting up to my deadline, I'm thinking, oh, you got to get this done.
Right.
I don't even need to call you.
Yes, exactly. Because we're going to ask the question when we get on the phone call. Hey, how is it going with this? And even if you did it the night before, at least you did it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So let's talk about an implementation plan. So we have set our goals. We know what we want to achieve, and we've set our goals. And now we need to start putting together an implementation plan. Some of the questions that that we want to be asking ourselves is, how will I get there? Right. What will I need to do? What do I need to change? What are some of the other things that we should be asking ourselves, Suzanne, when we're putting together an implementation plan to actually achieve our goals?
I think, now that we're starting the first of the year, looking back on what worked last year and what didn't work last year, and what do you want to be specific about in this year, and writing your goals in that way to know, I want to do this. Okay. I wanted to do it last year. I didn't do it. What stopped me? How am I going to do it this year and make it work? And who am I going to bring in with me to implement this? And how am I going to do it? And it's really, again, about systems and processes and writing it out and being very specific about what you're planning to do. And again, sharing it with others. If you have a team, sharing it with your team, getting everybody on board. Everybody is thinking the same way you are and working to achieve the same goal. So to get started, it's really about focusing on what worked last year, what didn't work. How do you want to make it work this year? And don't put too many goals down. I see so many people with, 15 goals. I'm going to make all of this happen. Just get started on one, not 15. Maybe pick 5 to start, and let's focus on those in the first quarter. And then we'll move on to the next one. So don't overwhelm yourself up front either.
That's such a great point, Suzanne, is not to overwhelm yourself and not to have this long laundry list, because that'll shut you down.
Yeah.
Shut you down. Right.
Oh, you'll feel paralyzed, deer caught in headlights. It's not a fun feeling, because now you're feeling like I'm not accomplishing 1 of 15. It's like a to-do list. I love to-do lists. You're just check marking the things that you need to do every day.
Exactly right.
Yeah, and it feels great because you accomplished all these things in one day, even if it's little things. You did it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. You mentioned a minute ago, Suzanne, about sharing your goals with your team.
Mm-hmm.
Can you dial in on that a little bit more? Because that's so important when you as a manager, or you as a leader, or you as the primary originator has created, your business plan for the year. Talk about sharing that with your team.
Well, first you have to learn your team. What are their goals? What's their why? Why are they doing this every day? Why are they coming to work? It's not the same reason you're coming to work every day. And then find out what their goals are, and bring everybody in to collaborate on where we want our business to go in the coming year. Not just my business as the lead originator, but all of ours. And how are we going to do this as a team to go out into the community, to go out into, whatever business area you're working in, to make an impact. Everyone has an input. Everyone has a share. Everyone has a solution, and bring them into the solution and making them feel a part of the whole process. That's huge. And writing goals together so everyone understands the primary goals and whose job is what to get to those goals. And as a team, and the master coaches that I work with, they are doing weekly check-ins with their team, their loan officers, and their assistants on, what are you doing? We have these goals. These are the things that we need to be doing consistently every week. How are you doing with this? And if they're not doing it, is why not? What's stopping you? Let's get deep on this as to what's stopping you, because it's not just about your goals. It's about the entire team's goals that we're trying to meet. Yeah. So it's about being very specific and accountable to each other, but also being a team, a collaboration, and having the same common goal. That brings people in. It brings loyalty to your team too. We see too much of a high turnover in this business at times. And part of that is because you're not making people feel like they're important and they're worth bringing into the solution.
That's so very true. And you touched on a lot of key points that a lot of people should be writing notes right now. And that is, first asking your coaching, asking your team, what's important to them. What does success look like to them? What fulfills them about their job or their position? Are they in the right role? Right? Really even kind of deciding whether or not they're in the right role, and to where they're getting the highest and best opportunity to feel fulfilled. And then checking in, because we can set goals, and then there's going to be gaps. And along the way, if we have an opportunity to kind of close those gaps by doing what you're saying, Suzanne, and that is asking, why didn't something get done? What was standing in the way? Where was the obstacle? Where was the challenge? How can we fix it so we can make it smoother?
Yeah, absolutely. It's checking in. And maybe even one of my coaching clients does a weekly Zoom with his LOs. They've all done their goals. They all know what their jobs are. And when they come together during this Zoom meeting every week, they are, working with each other as to why and what did I do that maybe you're having a problem with that they didn't know how to do differently. So it's a real great collaboration of everyone. They all want to try and succeed. They all want to be number one in their marketplace. And the only way they're going to do it is by helping each other. So, the manager has asked them to come with at least 2 situations that they want to discuss that's out there in their marketplace, and come with 2 solutions. as well. So they can talk about what it is, their solutions, and how others have addressed those same obstacles. Because we're all in this doing the same thing. We all have pretty much the same problems, I guess, in the community, the loan mortgage origination community. And sometimes we don't know how to address things that are coming up and bothering us, or have become a situation where others have been through it and said, this worked for me.
Yes. That is a great leader. That is a great leader, because it is consistently and continually empowering people to address where the challenges are, because you're right. We're all going to be dealing with basically the same challenges every single day, and to come with solutions. Yeah. I had a leader, a CEO that I worked with for a very long time, and on his door was, if you're bringing a problem, bring a solution.
Right.
And because we do know the answers, right? And if this particular manager is bringing it into a forum, basically a mastermind, so that if you bring two solutions, maybe someone else has a different solution that they've actually tried and is working better.
Right. Or they didn't have the same solution to the same problem, and now they can try it differently, and it might work better for them.
Right. Exactly. I think so often, and this is something I've been hearing a lot with our coaching members, is needing to hire more staff, needing to hire more fulfillment people, needing to bring on more support, for capacity. And I think you have touched on something that is really more of the first step, and that is to first re-interview all of the people that you have in place.
Yeah. And as you said, find out if they're in the right positions, if they're doing the things that benefit the team and them the most. It's really getting to know your staff and your team. And one thing I love about high trust coaching, we do the DISC analysis, personality profiles. And I've gone through that with each of my coaching clients, and they've learned a lot, not only about themselves, but their team and how to approach their team and what that team member is more suited to do than what they may want them to do. Mm-hmm. And you have to ask that person too, what do you enjoy about your job? What don't you enjoy about your job? And by learning and listening, you'll know, well, maybe you should be doing this, and this person is better suited for this. Mm-hmm. It's a constant revolving effort in an office. It's not always the same. It's going to keep changing and moving and growing, and people are going to be changing, moving, and growing. And you have to be able to be flexible with that and really listen. And not get frustrated, because a lot of us in this business, when we're top producers, we don't have patience. We want them done today. We need them done today. We don't want to wait for somebody else. Yeah, we don't want to wait for somebody else. But that's not a good leader. That's not how you're going to grow your team, grow your business. And even if you're just an individual originator, you still have processors and assistants to work with, yes. And underwriters. So learn, how do they work? How do they work best? And how can you best work with them and not alienate them? Because you want them on your team, right? You want them helping you.
I think that's, especially for an independent originator and or a leader, manager, producing manager, non-producing manager, that's such an important thing, is the building the relationships with the fulfillment teams. Actually, sitting down and having those conversations and building the relationship. What's important to you? What do you like doing? What is it? Where do you feel as though you're in your jam when you're doing it? And where are some of the challenges that I can help you with? And, those types of things. And it's not a blame game. It's, how can we readjust? And it's oftentimes it's just moving the needle just a little bit. Oftentimes, just that one little tweak that just is just like a thorn in their side, right?
Right. And as the situation comes up, collaborate. How could we have done this better?
Oh, yes.
What are we going to do next time in this situation? The situations come up. Every loan is unique. Every loan is different. Every client is different. So, different things happen in each transaction. But if something didn't go well, or maybe delayed, how as a team can we make this not happen next time? How can we avoid this next time? And bring them into it. Don't start the blame game. It's not going to get you anywhere.
It gets you nowhere. Todd is doing a series of 2020 Gave Me. He's doing a video every single 2020 Gave Me. He's doing 21 videos every single day. If you are not engaging in it every single day, do yourself a favor and make sure that you do and share it with your friends. But his today was about belief. And it was interesting that you and I were going to be sitting here talking today about the law of leverage. And, the number one thing that Todd talked about today on 2020 Gave Me is believing that you can, and I think that sometimes people won't set goals or achieve goals because they don't believe as though they can.
Oh, that's so hard. And it's so true. And he talks a little bit about, what it's going to take to build that belief in yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's a personal thing that we all have to deal with every day. But every day we have to work on it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I think that's something that we do a lot of work with our coaching members is kind of, breaking through some of those limiting beliefs.
Yes.
I had a client very recently, at year end, had shared with me that in the past she wasn't in the habit and actually had a limiting belief around writing down her goals. So she never did. She never wrote business plans. She never wrote down her goals. She never did until she got into coaching. And what this past year has given her is realizing that writing down her goals and moving towards those goals is the catalyst, to her achieving something that she never thought was possible.
Right. Absolutely. And sharing those goals with your family members, with your network, your manager, whomever is in your office to keep you motivated towards those goals. Because often we'll write them down and they'll go to the side and we don't look at them again. Well, you have to keep them in front of you. Right. And it has to be very specific on the steps for each goal. So write out the goal, then write the steps out and look at a time management system that I'm going to do this on this day, every day at this time. And everybody around me knows I'm doing this. Don't bother me. I'll check email and so on and so forth afterwards, but I'm going to do this. And you got to get into a habit of doing it.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of the how, right, Suzanne? It's a big part of the how do I achieve that is, we don't stay in our normal behavior, right? Our default behavior of being reactive to our business is we start time blocking and we start time blocking those times that we're going to achieve that. And in just doing that, just doing that one thing of saying, this is what I'm going to do within this time frame or in this time block. It starts to diminish the anxiety of how am I going to achieve this goal and oh my God, and that type of thing. It all kind of goes away because inch by inch, moment by moment, hour by hour, you are moving towards that goal.
I was speaking with a coaching client yesterday who has kind of put the phone calls to her real estate agents and database on hold during last year because she was so busy. Well, now we're in a new year and this was part of her goals is to reach back out. Well, she is now so busy by making these phone calls. And she said the reason she's so busy is because she was methodical. Every day at this time, she was going to make this many phone calls. She had to limit the time that she spent on the phone call. Some people want to talk for 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Yes. We talked about how to, address the time frame with people. But because she's done just that, reconnected, and this is a great time to reconnect with our referral partners in our database, just to say Happy New Year. How's it going for you? Is there anything in your mortgage or your financial picture that I can help answer or work with for you? So she's like, well, now what do I do? I'm so busy again. Well, have such a problem. I don't know what to tell you. Exactly. What you're doing. Get better systems, get better processes, do a better job at qualifying people up front to know whether or not you can deal with them and help them out. And if you can't, give them a solution or move on. And don't waste their time or yours.
Yes, I had an interesting conversation with a client yesterday that was talking to us about hope if I start this, talking about being too busy, right? And they have a fear of being too busy. And they said, if I implement this action, if I implement this one thing we were talking about, that's going to create a tsunami of new business for me. And I don't know that I can manage it. And I'm thinking, okay, well then we need to make sure that we have everything in place to do that. As we don't want to not do it because we're afraid we're going to be too busy. We're not going to be able to take the business in, right?
Right. And with coaching, walk through with us what that means. And let's talk about what you need to have in place to be able to handle that business. And we have to make an investment in our business. It's our business. I don't care if you're working for a bank or anywhere else. You are self-employed. It's about what you do and how you build your business. So think about that. What do I need to handle the business that I assume is going to be coming in that door?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And get ready for it. And
Yeah.
you know what they say, if you build it, they will come. It's true.
It's very true. It's very, very true. Some of our master level coaching members are spectacular at this. I mean, they are already building their teams. They've already added their people before the end of the year, or they're starting, at the beginning of the year, because they don't know what's coming into the new year, but they do know that, that they need to be well positioned. And I think it's the one thing that we all learned in 2020 is that we needed to be better positioned. We didn't see the tsunami coming.
Right.
Boy, it did. And it stayed for quite a long time, and it's still with us this year.
Right. Yeah.
2021. So I think that it's important not to have that be an element of our thought process, of expanding, getting too big or hiring too many people, or having too many staff, because of the fact that what if the business doesn't come, right?
Well, then I guess you deal with that, but it is going to come. And you have to be ready. And, we have enough frustration in this business. We don't need to have frustration of not being able to take all the businesses coming in the door, because we ultimately want to help and help people that are coming through that door. So you have to be ready to do that and not work 80 hours a week. Bring the people in, bring that support staff in, make that investment to grow and manage your business the best way you can for everyone involved.
For everyone involved.
Everyone. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Everyone involved, for all those people that, there's your loan officer assistants, your production managers, those types of people, all of those people, for everyone involved. And, what do you think about, we're coming up on the end of our conversation, but I did want to get your insight just a little bit on vision statements, mission statements, vision plans. What do you think about that, Suzanne?
Oh, it's powerful. That's funny you say that. I'm working with a networking group, and we're getting started. And our specific goal this morning, I've been up really early this morning doing all this stuff, was going through our mission statement and our vision statement. It's important and it's powerful, and you have to come up with those key words that really represent what you want to portray in your business to the people you're doing business with.
Right. Right. I absolutely. And it was a task that I had given most of our coaching members, is to come up with your mission statement, come up with your vision statement, make it a collaborative effort with your team, with everyone on your team, that everybody contributes and or resonates with or buys into it, because that vision statement and that mission statement has to be owned throughout the rest of the year.
And share it. Put it on your website, put it on your email signature, make a sign and put it on your wall at your brick and mortar office. When people walk in, will read that and understand who you are and what your purpose is.
Yes, absolutely. So we are coming up to the end of our coaching live session. Suzanne, first of all, I want to thank you so much for your time, for your efforts, for all of these, the extreme value that you bring to all of our coaching members. We love you so much. You're so welcome. And, so if you are not in coaching and you want to get a free coaching consultation, please go in and to toddduncan.com/coaching, schedule a free coaching consultation. We have some wonderful coach consultants ready to talk to you. So don't hesitate. Make that something that you get done today. In the meantime, a great rest of the week. Thank you again, Suzanne. And
thank you. It's always fun. Love to see you.
Always so much fun. Great to see you too, dear.
Have a great day.
Okay.
Bye.